I think one of the key things that mobility brings to the table is, we are emerging. We are moving from micro to mass consumer to over the counter and whatnot. Those are the names that I kind of hear all along. It's a great way to kind of look at those large products. It's a great way to integrate with banking channel payments. Brilliant to look at mobile payments as an element of what mobility can offer. The components that we have so far seen, and this is very important. This is an emerging sector. We haven't really seen the power of mobility being exposed in a way that we would like to. But what we have seen today is that there are many things that we need to look at. First of all, I don't think we can go out there and buy a mobility solution today. There are no real players who can give you that kind of ability. The best ones that are out there have already being bought out by the Visas and MasterCards of the world. So they're not available anymore to serve us. There are no historical business models to follow. How do I do a mobile payment collection scenario? There are again no historical things to do. Customer adoption is kind of very difficult. Regulators, the challenges, they always come in and say that, don't do this, don't. In India, we have regulations about how much money to transfer, how much money can you send on various mobility devices, how long can you keep money with you, and so on and so forth. So that's again. So there are challenges, but I think we'll kind of unified data interface. I'm not an expert in this, but I'll try and address some of the factors that we have seen out there. This is an area which has a huge impact for insurance companies. For one thing, I think it gives them the ability to do customer profiling in a way which we have never done so on the micro space, at least for sure. Okay. I think this evening, earlier this evening, we had to discover when we talked about the distribution models. There was this concept of can you really have different products assigned to different groups, and that's something which is possibly using the unified data interface experience. More analysis, better claim settlement. So there's a lot of impact in it, and I'll just share two very quick examples. So we don't need to go into very detail. The experience of using a rules engine, which I think some of the other panelists also talked about here, is so very critical on a for example, on a weather insurance or a crop insurance. Just imagine a scenario wherein you need to price your product every 20 miles. That's that's such a complex task that without a rules engine in place, it becomes a nightmare to give out the right pricing solution. So we and trust me, these are not rocket sciences today. These are very simple technologies that are available today. A rules engine, I bet I can teach an actuary in 5 days time. That's all it will take for someone to set up, execute, run it, test pilots, test the models, and kind of say this, I'm ready to go with that. So it's as simple as that. Okay? Your neighbor probably one lane behind, MS Swaminathan Foundation uses the simple text messaging as so very effectively. They provide early warning messages for fishermen. They provide pricing information based on a catch that they do. They provide them information about zones where they can get a better catch for the day. It's why do I talk about it? Because I think these were things that we never ever used maybe 5 years ago. Today, when we talk about an infrastructure, believe me, I think the mobility part of it, the wireless, the network communication that we have is far superior. Everyone is tapping into the solar. I did the solar ATMs and so on and so forth. So there's a huge. I mean, there were days when I think whenever we talked about rural, they would say, "Hey, there is no electricity there. We're not going to do anything about it." But those times have changed. I think let's face it. I mean, there are ways in which we can kind of connect with consumers. Next slide. This is probably the last part of it. Uh, Given that we have there's a 3G rollout that has happened in India, there is GSM and GPRS and so on and so forth, and all that kind of things. So uh, we, we, we are today probably in a fortunate world where communicating with our consumers is a lot more easier. You can send audio messages, you can send videos and whatnot. It's a lot more easier to teach consumers. So it's probably a little bit of a false notion to say that I can't teach my consumers. I think because we have tools at our disposal which can kind of help us. I personally am a better a person who believes that tablets would replace the current smartphones in our business needs, maybe 1 year down the line or 2 years down the line, because those prices are crashing and there is much more bandwidth available. Okay. There's the impact of telemedicine, which we all heard today. Mobile enablement of specified person, trained agents of MHI and NGOs, making them available to go out on the growing alternate form factor payments. These are all technologies that we are deploying today. We are working with various customers on it. Everybody is kind of touching upon some of them in some way or other. Last slide. Okay, that's my last slide. I'll probably summarize it. I think we do have a tech, it's not a white elephant anymore, and technology is, we ourselves run a technology business where we don't ask our customers to pay for anything, they don't need to make any capital investments. It's all run on a pay-per-use transaction pricing model. Okay. For insurance companies, one of the key things that you can do today is this business itself is emerging. So why do you want to spend $200,000 building up a product, and 2 years down the line you realize that this is not the business that I want it to be, and my entire business model has changed. So you have these SaaS or pay as use models which are kind of coming in. Scalability I don't think should be a concern. Technology should not be an impediment for scalability. And when we talk to regulators about it, IRDA in particular, one of the factors which they are extremely extremely excited about is the fact that we can actually go back and tell them how much of impact we have made to the society. And they say, if you can do that, there's nothing much more, we will support this microinsurance business more than